I didn't really care how bad it was at first. At first, I thought it was normal. Scrolling, eating, gaming, all day, every day. I would tell myself it's just scrolling, or it's just gaming, or it's just eating. Until one day I spent an hour, and then two, and then three, and then before I knew it, my whole day was gone. Now, this is something that is reality for most of us. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's experienced this, where we overindulge in some of the things that we like doing. And it always starts off with those voices in your head or in your ear. So for example, it'll be one more scroll. You'll tell yourself that one more scroll is harmless. It's not going to do anything to you. You've got plenty of time to do whatever it is that you need to do. And then you burn 2 hours, and then you've got your friends and you're online in the server and you're on a losing streak, and your friend keeps on telling you just one more game, and then you end up going to bed at 2 a.m. Or there's cakes in front of you, because my mum's been baking quite a lot recently. And I was telling myself stuff like just one more cake. One more cake turned into two turned into three, and then so on and so forth. And by the time I'd finished, I was sick. And I cleared like half the tray, and I thought to myself, what was the point? It felt great in the moments, but then afterwards, I felt terrible. I felt like crap. And that's the thing. We start by telling ourselves it's just one more, that it's minor, that it's not important at all. Then these things, they start to stockpile and compound into something that we can't control. And as a result of all of these things, I became more distracted, more tired, more annoyed at myself. That's when it clicked for me that I kept on scratching an itch and making it worse. All of these things that I enjoyed doing, they're okay to enjoy on the side, but not in excess, because in excess it becomes difficult to control. So whenever you're stressed, maybe you start scrolling. Whenever you're bored, maybe you start gaming. And if I was restless, I'd look for anything, and I mean anything, to distract myself. Anything but sitting with myself. And I started to see this bleed into other aspects of my life. If I thought something was hard, I don't need to do that. If I didn't feel like training, I'm not training, because once again, nobody's forced me to do that. If I didn't want to revise, I don't need to revise. I can just revise a few hours in advance. I can just try and stock as much content into my mind as possible. I don't need to revise for an exam. This was my mentality. That is the mentality that I carried into my exams. That's the mentality that I carried throughout that period of my life. And that's because I trained myself to always take the easy option. Short-term relief, over and over and over again. But long-term, I was damaging everything. I didn't consider the consequences down the line. I felt tired, I was distracted, I was lazy. But that didn't matter to me, because it became my new normal. I spent all of this time building up these habits that it became normal. The only time I started to question things was when I actually tried to stop. And the problem is, you don't realize how much of a problem that you have until you actually try to quit. Whether it's gaming, whether it's eating, whether it's even pornography, whatever it may be, whatever you may be indulging in that you're trying to stop, you don't realize how bad the itch is until you try and divert that attention. So I feel like the shift for me was recognizing the fact that this was a major problem, and then trying to figure out how I could respond to the itch. Instead of just scratching it like I always do, how could I respond? Both of which will have a very similar answer. But let's use pornography as an example. It's not something I believe that you can consume in moderation, but that's besides the point. Let's say that is the itch. If that's the itch, then from my personal experience, the solution is to go out and walk. Go out and walk. I always say, when the mind is spiraling, get the body moving in some way. So go out for a walk, and that way, the thought won't even cross your mind. What you'll realize is, if you just sit there, or in this case scenario, if you just walk, the feeling will pass, the itch will pass over, it will. The second example has the exact same solution, except if you have a problem with eating snacks, then you probably shouldn't be buying snacks. I always say that the prevention is better than the cure. So if you can do something to prevent yourself from overindulging in snacks, then go ahead and do it. But I do think that going out as much as possible will lessen the effects of the itch. And the same applies to scrolling as well. Going outside really will solve 70% of your addictions. As long as you surround yourself with a good community, people who don't overindulge in the things that you do, then you'll succeed. If any of you want to join a community, I'll leave a link down below in the description, which is just like what I'm describing. But yeah, surrounding yourself with a good social circle can really benefit you. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna wrap up the video here, but I will say, don't be so quick to scratch the itch. Once again, it's about how you respond to it. Don't be so quick to give into it. You owe yourself a little bit of resistance at least. Even if it is a few minutes or a few seconds. At least you can prove to yourself, you can show yourself that you're trying, you can apply the Kaizen philosophy of getting better 1% each and every day. That doesn't mean go ahead and fail, it means go ahead and try. Because as long as you're trying, as long as you're proving to yourself that you're trying, you're getting closer and closer to success. But only you can do that for you. So once again, guys, if you did like this video, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Share it to a friend or family member who you think may need to see this video. If you guys want to join a community full of like-minded people on the path of self-development, then I'll leave a link down below in the description, as well as the comment section. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care and God bless.